everyone. Today I'm going to share about how I chose and organized my photos that I took in COVID year 2020. I took about 1,000 photos, and even though I did nothing or felt like I did nothing, I'm not going to scrapbook 1,000 photos, so I had to judiciously decide on what photos to narrow down so that I would have meaningful pictures to scrapbook. For full disclosure, I'm a Creative Memories advisor, so I will include my link below, but other than this photo mat, I won't be showing you any Creative Memories products today. In general, how I chose my photos is probably not that different from how you do it, but maybe you'll still find some nuggets of ideas you can use by watching this short video. The photos were saved on my computer chronologically. I put them into 3 different folders, divided up by date so I could review a section at a time and not lose my place. First, I deleted all the blurry and duplicate photos, along with those that might be good for posting on Facebook but did not need to go into the family album. For the remaining photos, I did a couple of passes to see if I really wanted to include them. For example, if we did a food crawl in the same city twice, do I really need to include photos from both? Probably not. So while I speak about this process pretty quickly, the actual reviewing and deleting of photos took me about 2 hours. What I ended up with are about 300 photos that you see here. Now this is totally manageable for me because this equates to about 60 scrapbook pages for 1 year, which is very minimal. But of course that makes sense because again, we hardly did anything. So before I go into the order of appearance these photos will make in my scrapbook, please support me by clicking like, subscribe, and add a comment. I'm just starting, so this will be very helpful to me. My scrapbooks are in chronological order, although I don't necessarily scrapbook in chronological order, but during COVID year, as I like to call 2020, this would be slightly difficult. I'm going to go ahead and find my Zoom photos to share. For example, here I have some photos of me with various groups throughout the year on Zoom, but it seems to make more sense if I put them all together and talk about my Zoom experience all in one page instead. Therefore, I decided to organize in both chronological order and by topic. I won't, I promise, talk about this entire stack of photos. I'll just go through the first half and then move on to the end. Here you can see the photos from the beginning of the year where we got together at a birthday party and then at a Super Bowl party. Then I started to group them by topic, but keeping it in chronological order based on the first photo of each topic. For example, back to the set of Zoom photos. This one was taken on March 22nd, which was the first Saturday after sheltering at home. So this group consists of photos from the first and subsequent Zoom calls that I had during quarantine. Next, we have bare shelves, but also the finding of difficult to locate items. So this would be good for journaling. My company instituted a work from home policy for those who were able to. So we kept engaged by asking and getting to know you questions about each other. To answer the first one that came out, I took a photo of my coworkers, as we jokingly call our family members working from home, and shared it with my department. The next one is from a few days after that. This is a picture of hope because of the rainbow and because of the ships. Presumably, at least in my head, delivering goods that we were lacking like toilet paper, soap, and disinfectant wipes. This next section, kind of a big section here, will be on things I learned during the pandemic. So while keeping with the chronological order, I printed photos of me making crude masks by buying fabric from Joann's, which was my first time using curbside pickup, cutting them into smaller pieces of fabric, and then using the ponytail holders on paper clips shaped like S-hooks or elastic bands to keep them on my face. I'm also including a display of masks as we purchased masks later in the year when masks became mandated. Even though this was taken later in the year, I'm keeping it together with this group. Since I was stuck at home, I decided to go through my collection of nail polish to see which ones were still good, still look good on me, or on their way out. In the meantime, I improved my polishing skills, but there's a lot of photos. of my nails. Let's see what else. I learned to cut my bangs. I also participated in some online crops where I made cards and also layouts. We also cooked a lot of different foods and tried different meals. We also decided to do takeout just for our sanity's sake. So here's some photos about that. A little further, we have photos of my daughter's 23rd COVID birthday in May. And then followed by a food crawl and then Father's Day dinner. So this was us going on the food crawl. And then, let's see, Father's Day dinner was a prime rib. That's what we had. So I'm going to fast forward to the end where we close out the year with Christmas festivities instead of boring you with more of my non-activities. So for Christmas, we took photos at the mall and also at Union Square. And these ended up on our photo cards. We also made prime rib. And we ended up packaging and then delivering these to our family members since we couldn't eat with them. And the final set of photos was during New Year's Eve, where we stayed up to make sure that the COVID year exited. So we have our Happy New Year photo here. I hope this gives you an idea of how you can organize your photos for this unique year. When I put them into my scrapbook later, I'm sure I won't include all of them. For example, while I printed out 20 photos on nail polish, I may include no more than 5 or 10. Before I go, I want to thank you for getting to this part of the video. As I mentioned, this is a new experience for me, so I'm still learning. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you haven't already. In my next video, I'll talk about how I organize my pages in my Creative Memories Power Layout box so that I can work on them at a crop in Kansas later this June. Stay tuned.